welcome to the Postgame Show presented by Ricoh. Welcome back to the NovaCare Complex. I'm Gabriella DiGiovanni, joined with Fran Duffy, and we picked up a straggler along the way. Mr. Ike Reese in the house. How you doing, Ike?
Nice to be here. Can I call you Gabby?
We go with Ella.
Ella, okay.
Is that all right? Does that
yes,
work for you?
Yes,
okay.
yes. And I actually knew that before the show, too. That's how quickly I forgot. Yes.
Listen, it's preseason for everybody. We're
getting the kinks out of the way, okay?
Yes.
Well, preseason game number 1 against the Pittsburgh Steelers here tonight in Philadelphia. Eagles lost 24-16. Score doesn't matter as much in the preseason. So let's get the initial thoughts from both of you.
Well, I mean, the first thing I always say coming out of preseason games, there were no major injuries tonight. So that's always a plus. I thought the offense looked good early. Most importantly, I thought Coach Sirianni, they ran a good team, offense and defense tonight. You didn't get a lot of penalties out there tonight, and that's the mark of a team that's well coached.
My big thing was just going to see how did Jalen Hurts look. It was his first time in this new offense, getting a sense of him outside of the practice situation, the practice bubble. I thought he looked really good, calm, collected. He made some really accurate throws, a couple of drops that receivers would like to have back. I think that changes the narrative and changes the stat line a little bit. I thought Jalen Hurts looked good in 2 drives.
Yeah.
Well, the big storyline going into this was the receivers, was the running backs. How are both of these groups going to shake out throughout training camp in the preseason? And we got to see a lot of different guys. They're really spreading the ball out on offense, which I think is great for coaches to really understand what these players look like in game time action, but also good for the players to kind of see where they're at. They can evaluate where they are, and then there's a lot of tape to watch and improve.
I think that's the biggest thing, right? You needed to get some game footage. See the players going up against different color jerseys instead of the same players you see in practice every day. And like Ella just said, now you have something that you can take back and teach with. And so as well as Jalen Hurts played tonight, as well as Quez Watkins played tonight, there's always something you can get better at. And so the coaches will have some teaching tape.
And then, 2, who are the guys that stand out on the practice field, carry over to the game? We saw that from Quez Watkins. That was a big one early on in this one.
He's been a big name in camp, so it was kind of good to see him live up to the hype we've been hearing out of camp, and he certainly did that tonight. We're going to head over to Lincoln Financial Field, where we have Eagles insider Dave Spadaro on the line. Dave, how we doing?
Gabriella, I got to tell you, this was really great tonight. Having the fans here, having the energy here, it just felt normal, I think everything just felt normal, which was I can't express how great that feels to me. And in talking to Nick Sirianni at halftime and some of the players during the course of the game, everything was pretty smooth. The operation went well with Nick calling the plays and sending them in. Shane Steichen, his part in the offense as well. Eagles had very few mental mistakes. They missed a couple of tackles here and there, very obviously, but it wasn't a sloppy game by the defense. It certainly got porous when the second and third stringers went in there. But for the most part, I think the Eagles walk away pretty happy with this game, understanding no major injuries, and your big play players on offense, the Quez Watkins, the Kenny Gainwells, Jordan Howard looking good, like Kerryon Johnson with a slip and fall and get up and make a big play. The quarterbacks, at least 1 and 2, playing well. Good start for the Philadelphia Eagles. I guess you said, a lot of mistakes, sloppy second half. Nick Mullins, 2 interceptions. You don't like to see that. Jake Elliott, perfect tonight. So all in all, a solid start for the Nick Sirianni era.
Dave, you were all over the operational efficiency coming into this. When you talked about the tackling, the penalties, we didn't really see that too much here tonight, which was a good thing. I wanted to ask you about a player I just spoke about. Quez Watkins was a guy that caught a lot of headlines throughout the course of practice over the last week and a half. He carried it over to the field tonight, Dave, a huge 79-yard catch and run. How did that look? How did that speed look like out in the field tonight?
I mean, he just exploded, Fran. He ran past everyone. And you go, all right, is this guy the fastest Philadelphia Eagle right now? I mean, Quez has played fast in training camp. He took a simple little route, turned it into a home run for the Eagles. That's the kind of play that they didn't have last year in the offense. And Quez Watkins, that's just a confidence builder. And think about the Eagles wide receivers, guys. They have invested 5 draft picks into the wide receiver class in the last 3 years. So they have remade the wide receiver room. They've resisted the urge to go out and sign a veteran. They trust these young receivers. And Jalen Reagor, I know he had the tough ball on the sideline on the first drive, but he came back and had a catch. I think the Eagles are feeling quite good about their wide receiver core, and it's going to be even better when Devontae Smith is healthy and on the field. And that may not be until the opener. And as long as these young players keep getting reps and building on it, I mean, I think the Eagles feel pretty darn good about what they have on the outside.
Well, we ought to feel good about the head coach that we hired, Dave. Right off the bat, the former wide receiver coach is already showing where he's made an impact on the team. We've been running that rocket screen, bubble screen for the last decade, and I've never seen anybody take it to the house like that.
Yeah, and the screen game has really, kind of fallen out of the Eagles' favor the last few years. They just weren't able to get the screen game going, and we have listened to what Nick has said. We've talked about what he ran in Indianapolis, the running game, maybe leaning on that a little bit more, as well as the screen game. And when you have somebody like Quez, and when you have somebody like Kenny Gainwell, who, Fran, we know this, right? We've watched him every day. He is going to be a big part of this offense. They're going to move him around. They're going to get the ball to him in space, and he's going to make plays. If you can get that screen game going, easy completions for the quarterback, it really makes a big difference in the offense.
And Dave, the other big thing, I would go over to the defensive side of the football. Every single day of practice, we've seen that energy, that urgency to get after the football, the competitiveness, punching the ball out. And it seemed like tonight, watching on TV, a lot of rallying, a lot of multiple helmets, lots of jerseys at the football. Did you feel that being on the sideline? Was that the sense that you got being down there close to the action?
Yeah, I mean, Fran, I wanted to watch and see what JG had lined up as far as the scheme. He didn't show anything.
Yep.
He didn't bring any pressure. It was very vanilla, as it always is in the preseason. But I did see the linebackers around the football a lot, and I think that's a very positive sign, not just one linebacker. I talked to Alex Singleton toward the end of the game there, and he was really pleased that he was around the football 6 or 7 times in that first quarter. So, they are rallying to the football. They are hustling. They do have the takeaway mentality. They had a big one. The offense wasn't able to do anything with it, but getting that big one, I think, is important for this defense. And there's 2 areas that Nick really believes in statistically. One is hidden yardage, and the Eagles made some mistakes on special teams. And then the other one is the turnover takeaway ratio combined with the explosive plays. So they were able to have the big takeaway, and I think that'll serve the defense well because Jonathan Gannon is going to keep preaching, take the football away. And these linebackers have shown a bit of speed and a bit of get to the footballness, and I think that's going to be a positive thing to build on moving into week 2 of this preseason when the New England Patriots come to town.
We were all anxious to see what Jalen Hurts would look like, Dave, in his first preseason game. Just your thoughts on how he performed and also what he was like on the sideline, being the leader on the sideline for those first 2 series.
Yeah, I mean, for Ike, he's a cool cat, right? Like, he does it in the pocket. He doesn't get flustered. He escapes the pressure when he has to. I thought the first drive, look, Rager, iffy on the catch there. Zach Ertz obviously should have had that pass over the middle. It would have kept the drive going, and who knows where it would have ended up. So I thought Jalen moved the football well. I thought he threw the ball accurately. I thought he threw the ball on time and with confidence. So good to see that from Jalen Hurts because, again, we know he can run. You got to win from the pocket. And when you've got Brandon Brooks and Lane Johnson out there with the front offensive line, the first-team offensive line, you're going to have a pocket. And I thought he used it well tonight. I like what I saw from Jalen Hurts. And then when he was on the sidelines, very much involved in the game, listening to the play calls, very supportive. Joe Flacco came in and played really well. So, I mean, Joe Flacco's here to compete for playing time, and he showed tonight that he's not going to be content being the number 2. He wants to push Jalen Hurts for playing time.
All right, Dave, before we let you go, what are some of your final thoughts, things that we should be looking for this week when the Patriots come to town for some joint practices based on what you saw tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Gabriella, I think that the Eagles need to take another step forward here with their consistency, with how physical they're going to be on defense. I still think the whole premise here is evaluate and go from 90 to 53 and find your best 53. But with the Patriots, look, there's always that Bill Belichick mystique. I've been in camps where the Eagles and Patriots had joint practices and Tom Brady lit the Eagles defense up. So I want to see the Eagles step it up and play with more tenacity defensively, better coverage, and better against the run.
All right, Dave, we have to let you go. We have kicker Jake Elliott coming to the podium right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Jake, good game for you, obviously. A couple 40 47-yarders, 50-yarder. What does that do for your confidence to get off to that good start?
I mean, it's just good to get out there and play a game again. I think the preseason is really valuable. Obviously missed that last year. Get into a rhythm with the guys, and like you said, solid start.
Are you a guy, even at this point in your career, who can get something out confidence-wise out of a night like this?
Yeah. Everything's kick by kick. Everything's moving on to the next kick, whether it's a make or a miss. So, it was definitely good to get some live game reps and get it with some fans in the stadium again and do it in the link.
Jake, the process of Aaron being your new holder and the kicks and everything like that, how has that gone just throughout camp? Obviously, it seems to have worked on one game, but would you say it's a smooth process so far?
Yeah, and it's just not camp. It's, back in April when we started getting together. We've gotten a lot of reps in, so really comfortable with him. Obviously, really comfortable with Rick. We've been together for a while now, so everything's really smooth tonight, and they did a great job.
In what ways did it feel different with Nick out there as the head coach?
Oh, I don't know. For me, not much different at all. I'm kind of off on my own in my net, kind of getting ready and doing the same thing I've always done.
Jake, did you miss the preseason last year? Did you feel like you didn't come into the regular season as prepared?
I think getting some game reps in before you start is really valuable. Regardless if you go out and have team reps in practice, doing it in a game where you're trotting out there with fans in the stands in a stadium against another team, it's valuable. The more reps you can get, it's always valuable.
You talked to us last year. Finn pointed out that you were perfect in the 40s, and that kind of the classifications of 50 and over are somewhat arbitrary. Is there a yard line where you say you need to be automatic from this spot in?
Oh no, I don't think so. I think every kick I kind of approach the same way. Just so happens that I was dialed in on those numbers, and we got a couple of those tonight, obviously, and they felt good.
Jake, first time we got a chance to really see Aaron Simpl's kick. Was he pretty pumped for this game? Like, go out and make a good first impression?
Oh yeah, he was definitely excited to get the ball rolling. It's obviously been a long time since he's played in a game. Like we've been talking about, no preseason last year. That was his first year in the NFL, so he really hasn't gotten a chance to do it. So he was definitely excited to get out there, and I think he showed really well, obviously.
Jake, you mentioned not much changes for you with Nick versus Doug. How about Michael versus Dave? Any changes there, how he approaches?
Honestly, on game days, it's just not a whole lot different. I'm kind of off on my own, regardless of who the coach is. So not tremendously different. No.
What was Nick's message to you guys after the game?
A lot of good stuff, especially in that first half. But obviously, there's a lot of good teach tape. So go back tomorrow, review it, and learn from it.
Jake, what goes into getting that comfort down with a new holder, and how long does it take you? You talked about going back to OTs. How long does it take for you to really all three feel comfortable with that process?
Yeah, it depends on the guys, obviously. With Aaron, he's come in and he already kind of did everything that I liked personally. Just the way I can see the ball and everything, and how smooth he is with his hands. So it was a pretty seamless transition. And like I said, we've gotten 1 million reps in over this offseason. All good? Thanks, guys.
All right, that was kicker Jake Elliott, who was perfect tonight. He went 3 for 3, a 47-yarder, and a 50-yard field goal. I think that was something he needed tonight, build his confidence after a little bit of an up-and-down season last year.
Yeah, I totally agree. Coming off the 2 years prior to the COVID season last year, I thought Jake Elliott was really ascending to being one of the better young kickers in the league. A little bit of a setback last year, and you know how it is with kickers, friend. The confidence, it almost swings with every kick that you attempt. And so he missed some relatively chip shots that he has the ability to make last year. I think that messed with his confidence a little bit. And it was good to see him out there tonight go 3 for 3, particularly hitting a 50-yarder and a 47-yarder.
And you know how the field goal operation, it's just like all of these other machinations that we see on the field, whether it's substitutions, guys going out for kickoff, my first team kickoff return, and my second team punt coverage, all those things. Just seeing those guys all work through those tonight, that's big. For him to go 3 for 3 is awesome.
All right, so we got your initial reaction, but Ike, we're going to move into your 3 big takeaways from tonight.
I got to start with the quarterback. I got to start with Jalen Hurts. I mean, you're talking about anticipating watching a preseason game and a quarterback play. The whole city had their eyes on this game tonight to watch Jalen Hurts play. And I got to admit, he came through in flying colors. I mean, 3 for 7 doesn't tell the story of watching Jalen Hurts throw the ball from the pocket tonight. I thought he was decisive. He threw it with confidence. Probably had 1 or 2 throws he wished he could have back. The Quez Watkins deep ball. He's hit on that in practice, so we know that he has the ability to make those throws. But I like the throws that he made over the middle of the field to Zach Ertz. The throw that he hit Dallas Goedert with on the 7 route was about anticipation. You know, he got to that back foot, he planted, and he let the ball go on time, and he had some nice crisp throws in there. So watching him throw the ball tonight, answering the bell, nice step for the young man, first preseason game.
I may or may not be breaking down that throw to Goddard later, because I agree with you. To me, that was one of the biggest takeaways to come away from tonight was Jalen Hurts. And just if he had a higher completion percentage just by the numbers tonight, but it was done by just running around and making stuff up and the second reaction plays, I don't know if I'd feel so good. The fact that we saw him operate the way that we did, he made plays when he needed to outside and tried to escape, but everything was within rhythm, within timing. It was impressive. I was glad we got to see what we saw over 2 drives.
Like in the kickoff show, Fran and I talked a lot about what Sirianni's going to have to do to be able to use Jalen Hurts' God-given talent and his ability to use his legs, but also be able to throw it and really improve his passing game. Seeing what you saw tonight, do you think he's in a place to really create that balance and use those legs to extend plays when it's needed, but also be able to just sling it down the field?
Yeah, I do. And I like what Coach Sirianni and Shane Steichen did tonight as far as a game plan for Jalen. Listen, they know that he has the ability to make plays with his legs. What they don't want is for that to be a crutch. And that's what it's been in the years past. He has to learn to play from the pocket. The plays that were called tonight were designed for him to play from the pocket, and he was disciplined enough to stay back there, go through his progressions, and step up and make the throws when he needed to. I thought he got flushed out of there once, but that's because the pocket sort of collapsed on him a little bit. But other than that, I love the fact that the game plan tonight wasn't to necessarily highlight his athleticism, but show the progress that he's making from where he ultimately needs to be.
All right, Ike, I have to cut you off for a second.
Okay.
We have Coach Sirianni at the podium.
When I told the team, obviously I have to watch the tape and look and see what everything that happened. But I thought it was a very crisp first half. A lot of good things in the first half. Again, there's things that clean up. But the first half, I thought we looked pretty sharp there. And then the second half, just got sloppy. And that was my message to the team. And again, you got to go back and look at the tape. But again, it felt like crisp first half, sloppy second half.
Hey, Nick, what was your satisfaction the way Jalen Hurts played those 2 series? Everything you've seen, not only TA's training camp, but then leading it into tonight?
Yeah, I thought he handled it well. He made a really good check and a great throw to Dallas for a big play. He saw what defense was coming and he checked the play. A ton of credit to him for that and making a perfect throw there. I thought he went with where we wanted the ball to go. Versus the defenses they were going. He had a couple drops in there, so I was really pleased with him. And then you got to see him. He kind of lost Zach in the middle there. You got to see him break contain and make a play that way with his feet. Yeah, we just felt like we've seen him. We know what he is. We know that we're excited about him. We're really excited about him. Wanting to keep him fresh, and we'll reevaluate and look at next week and if he'll play next week.
No injury there or anything?
No injury.
Was he disappointed? It looked like
He's a Pittsburgh kid. No, he was fine. I explained to him. I talked to him. His running back coach Jamal talked to him, and we thought it was best for the team that he just sat that one out. He had a couple big runs against Pittsburgh last year, right? Yeah. So that his people there in Pittsburgh saw those big runs last year.
Without seeing the film yet, what's your takeaway from Nick Mullins and what's your concern level with him?
Well, I know the first interception, we were hot, and we lost the back in the backfield. He was supposed to, he kind of got held up and got tripped up at the defensive end. So, those things happen. So he had to throw it on time, and Tyree just wasn't there yet. So, I'm not concerned about that. The second one, I'd like to see him hit the check down, and he wants that one back too. So no concern. He's been having a good camp, and just got to learn from mistakes and get better.
Quez Watkins touchdown. I saw your excitement. Was it because you called the right play, and maybe the Quez Watkins did everything right? It looked like everybody did.
Yeah, that's a play right there that it's very important to our offense, and you just want there's a lot of everybody really has to do their job. That's what this game's so awesome, right? Everyone's got to do their job for it to work, and they did, right? And Quez made a great play, Joe made a great throw, and as a matter of fact, Joe made that check. Same thing the way it did. So I just get excited because football's exciting and football's a emotional game, and that's what we do. That's fun. I'm not going to take that part out of my game just because I'm the head coach.
How important was it tonight for your offensive and defensive communication to be as crisp as it seemed to be in the first half? It seemed like there was no confusion. It seemed like the defensive players were in the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like everybody kind of was on the same page. With no preseason, a new coaching staff, a young quarterback, and a lot of moving parts, are you pleasantly surprised?
Yeah, again, like I said, that first half I just thought was really crisp, both offensively and defensively. Again, there's going to be things to correct, but that's what we're striving for every day, just to have that sharpness on our offense and defense. And it's the same thing. Like, we can't get too down on the bad plays that happen, and we can't get too high on the good things that happen. We just got to play the next play the next game over and over and over again. Honestly, Jeff, it felt business as usual. It really did. Again, I've said this all along. Like, what's the difference? It's just I'm adding job titles to my what I already do. So it just felt like business as usual. It was great communication on the offensive side of the ball. As far as with Shane, myself, Kevin, Patullo, Jeff Stoutland, Jason, Mike, all the way around. So it just really did feel like business as usual.
He was also pretty open, behind the defense and everything. Are you kind of seeing like the speed that he possesses so far?
Yeah. Well, anytime you get a guy that can run like Quez can, that's obviously a very big threat to the defense, right? It softens them up. And we've seen that, right? You guys have been at all the practices. You've seen him get behind the defense, make some plays on the ball. Like, that's what's really impressive with Quez. He's got good, strong hands that can go up and make plays, has that speed, and can go up and make plays. So that's a weapon that we're hoping to continue to develop. He got behind the defense on the one, made the run after a catch, and that's what you look for, a guy who can. And now you just want to see him separate in the intermediate game too, and then you would have saw all three. But yeah, excited about his development. Aaron Moore has done a great job with him of developing him, and Quez has done a great job of just getting better every day. So just look forward to correcting the mistakes that he made tonight and growing from the good things that he did tonight.
Was that screen something you specifically felt you would run tonight going in, or was that an answer to Pittsburgh being kind of aggressive there?
Both. Yeah, both. Again, Joe made a great check. They brought the slot off of Quez, and offensive line did a great job of getting out. I mean, again, like we've run that play so many times. I've been a part of that play so many times, and it really takes all 11 to make it go. So I'm excited. Obviously, you don't see that. You don't see it live. I mean, it obviously worked, and Quez made it work with a burst. He was just kind of gliding and really outran the defense. But I look forward to seeing how everybody did their job on that play. So, but that is a staple in our offense, and I'm glad that we were able to execute tonight.
Nick, situational aspect, third downs weren't very effective. A lot of moving parts, but when you look at that, I don't think you guys converted.
Yeah, we were 0 for 8. Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
How do you look at that?
I felt like I was talking to a couple of coaches after, and it felt like we had some drops on third down, and they weren't routine catches, right? But they're definitely the type of catches we anticipate our guys making. We work those low balls, right? We work the traffic catches, and we just got to go. A little bit of you was like, good, you got to get more reps of these. Like, you drop the ball and now go get, if you drop the ball here low, Go work that more. Know that what we're telling you with those drops, they come up. So, and they still count as drops. So it just felt a little sloppy there. It felt like a little bit too on defense. We just, especially in the second half, they had some time back there, as we all saw. And then the first half, I saw a couple times in that first half where, the quarterback had to hold on to the ball because of the coverage too, and the defense got the sack. So again, just a little bit too much time on defense, and then some drops that I was disappointed in on offense.
Jalen Rager had a drop on that first drive, and then had a couple of unlucky bounces as a return. How do you think you responded to that in the second?
Yeah, that's what we talk about. We talk about dog mentality all the time, and all that means is play the next play. Play the next play. You can't get too high, on one play and then go and play the next play effectively, and you can't get too low and vice versa and go play the next play. So, again, that was one of the drops I was talking about, that low ball. I thought, we got to have that. We got to put it up on him a little bit more, but we also got to have that ball. So it was good to see him respond because, I played wide receiver, and it's just like that can get in your head. Like a drop can get in your head. And so it was great to see him respond, and he ran a great route on that bench route. Really, it got a lot of separation and made a big explosive play for us after that. So it was good to. And then, the guy in the screen kind of fell out. Again, I haven't seen the tape, and I'm just some of the things I'm remembering. The guy played out into it, but he kind of hit it pretty hard on that screen. So I was pleased that he didn't let that drop get to him and came out and continued to play hard. And I'll see more from the tape, but I was impressed with that bench route he ran.
You talked about communication with the other coaches. Is there anything you're going to change going into the next game, or did you like the way everything flowed?
Yeah, I like the way things flowed. I mean, there were some things here and there where, we talked about, hey, I wish we would have done this on that. And it was right when we came in the locker room, or, hey, on the call sheet, give us a little space to write here. I mean, there's some things that, because you're always trying to improve your process no matter what. And that's growth, right? When you're trying to improve what you do, improve your process. So there's things that we'll talk about. There's a couple things that, nothing major, but just like little tweaks here and there that will improve our process, and we'll just try to do that every time. Evaluate ourselves as coaches, obviously, just like we evaluate the players, and we're no different.
When you said he got behind the defense, it looked like there was a blitz. It was picked up nicely by the offensive line. What was that throw? Was that just a timing issue, or was that just
You talking about the one backed up?
The one where, backed up, but on your own two, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they well, I got to look at the tape and see if there was pressure up in. I know Pittsburgh only had 10 guys on the field. They subbed in late, and they only had 10 guys on the field there. So, but we got what we wanted on the outside with them. I'll have to look at the tape and see what happened. But Quez did a good job of saving room on the sideline and getting open.
All right, guys, we got guys waiting in the hallway, so we'll let Coach go.
Sorry.
We're going to bring Jalen up.
That was head coach Nick Sirianni making his preseason debut here in Philadelphia. Some takeaways, guys. He said communication a lot. That's a word we've heard around camp. Strengthening communication between offense and defense, between all the different groups. What did you think about what Coach had to say?
Well, I thought for his first preseason game, it was an outstanding job. Listen, you got a little sloppy in the second half. That's going to happen when you get down to the third and fourth teamers. But from a penalty standpoint, from a turnover standpoint, with those first two units, I thought it was a fantastic job and a great debut for him.
And then certainly Coach Sirianni echoing what we've talked about with Jalen Hurts and what he saw from those two drives. Talked a lot about some of those big plays from Jalen and what he saw that he liked. We'll hear more from him this week after going through the film tonight for sure.
Film is definitely going to be helpful. He said earlier in the week that, look, there's nobody in the NFL that has film on us because we haven't done anything yet. Everything here is new. Sure, you can watch film of former players, but these players in this new scheme, you don't know what it looks like. And I'm sure through the preseason, he's going to be very reserved on how much he shows, but it's an advantage for this Eagles team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you don't get... You only get one chance to make a first impression, right? So once the season does start, after 4 weeks, you will have tendencies that you'll be able to pick up from this team. But right now, the element of surprise or not knowing what this coaching staff is going to do from a philosophy standpoint can be beneficial for a young team, young quarterback. Any little advantage they can get at the early part of the season can help build confidence going. going
Execute, execute, execute. That's what this part of the summer's about.
All right, we're heading right back over to Lincoln Financial Field. Quarterback Jalen Hurts at the podium.
You and the sidelines, and you and the players, it seemed pretty crisp and it seemed pretty seamless.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
How do you think communication went between you and your coaches and you and the players? It seemed like everybody was on the same page down the series that you were in.
Yeah, I think it was smooth, especially being out there with a new set of coaches. I always talk about having a new situation. Maybe you have new experiences that come along with that, and it was good to get on the grass, get on the field with them, get that coaching from them, and talk about what we saw on the field. Definitely a lot of stuff we can learn from today.
What did you like about your game said that he was pleased with the way you played tonight. What are your thoughts on how you played, and when you look to get better, what do you want to get better at?
I mean, I want to come on the field, complete every pass, score touchdowns every time I touch the field. So the competitor in me is like, damn. But I think it was a good day. I think it was, we got to be better on third down for sure. But coming out there and for the most part executing, it's a lot to learn from though. Like always.
You're not satisfied?
Never satisfied.
Last year you didn't have a preseason. How is it now to have preseason and kind of get all the kinks and all that stuff out of your game?
I think the biggest thing is repetition. It brings comfort and it brings confidence. And every time we get the opportunity to play ball, every time we get this opportunity to play, especially in a live atmosphere like this tonight, we want to take advantage of it and we want to learn from it and build off of it. I'm looking forward to this week's practice. I can't wait to go practice this week. This is how fired up I am to learn, to grow. So.
When you step up in the pocket and run a little bit like you did on the second drive, trying to get the first down, did the coaches at all talk to you about wanting you to slide in certain situations?
I slid.
You slid?
Yeah, I slid. I thought I slid. It was a slide, right?
Yeah, it looked like you had some contact, though. I didn't know if you slid on contact.
Oh, no, I slid. Yeah. I knew I was coming out, so trying to get the first. Live to see another day, I guess.
Where you and Quez just missed when you were backed up on your own, too. Could you run us through that play, what you would like to have back?
I mean, I'd like to have a 98-yard touchdown. Simple as that. One thing I was thinking about, though, as I walked up here is he's not a secret anymore. So that's unfortunate.
When you see Quez take that bubble screen to distance, what have you seen from him throughout camp?
Well, it's not the first time I've seen him take one of those screens. He's like 2 for 2 on those screens in his career. So I think he's a great player. He knows what I think of him, and he could be a really good player for us. This game is no representation of what he's been doing and the progress he's made from last year when we both got here till now. So I'm excited for him.
On the second play of the first series, when you checked into making that throw to Goddard, what did you see from the defense and what made you feel good about that throw?
I saw nickel edge coming based off the shade. Knew nickel edge was coming, so I knew the Mike backer had to carry number 3 vertical. So I checked to a different concept, and we hit it.
Getting back to that throw to Quez, first of all, is he not a secret anymore? Is that what you're saying? He's not a secret?
That guy is not a secret anymore.
and then what was it just some miscommunication, or was it just
What was that? Oh, no, it was, in a situation like that, the worst thing you can do is take a safety. So I wanted to get the ball up, get it up and down. I ended up getting, I want to say, what you got, grabbed? It tugged you a little bit. So we'll hit it.
On Tuesday, you spoke about efficiency. How did you think you did specifically with that? Because that was your objective.
Yeah. Could be more efficient, always room for improvement. I'm never satisfied with anything. Can't have balls on the ground. We got to hit our money balls when we need them. So That's always going to be my mentality. Preseason, regular season, whatever it is, we truly have a standard for how we want to do it. So we want to do it at a high level all the time.
You had one throwaway last year. I think Doug's message to you a lot of times was like, if you've got nothing, throw it away. What has been the messaging from Nick in terms of when or when not to throw it away?
I mean, I had to throw it away. I was going to take a 20-yard loss. So I'd rather throw it away than take a 20-yard loss. You know.
Did they want you to be a little more?
If I take a 20-yard loss, then y'all might ask me, why'd you take a 20-yard loss?
No. I'm just asking about now versus last year in terms of when you're told to throw the ball away. Are they saying, hey, maybe you can make a play here? Or do they want you just to kind of get rid of the ball and get the first time?
We want to live to see another day, you know. Coach Saban always taught me, he said every possession ends with a kick. And throw it away, you save the possibility of having a turnover, a negative loss, anything like that. So, you know, in the ideal, perfect world, you want to get the ball to this, to that on time, whatever, but probably 40% of football plays happen, or 50%, half of them are off script, you know.
Jalen, what about your comfort level with Zach Ertz? I know there's been a lot of talk, here or not, when the season starts and everything, but it seems like you guys have built a pretty good rapport so far.
I think I want to talk about the group when you ask that question. I think one of my main objectives is to build a great relationship with everybody, tight ends, receivers, running backs, anybody that's a pass catcher, because everybody will contribute and everybody's gonna make plays for us this year. And I just want to have that connection. I want to go out on the field and you know, be dominant. And to do that, you have to have a great relationship with what you're doing. You have to have that chemistry. And that's, you know, we're in training camp still, so we're still building that. So I'm confident in that, and I'm confident that we'll do that with time, like Novocaine.
Thanks, Jalen.
Thank you.
Quez Watkins up here now.
Like Novocaine, give it time, it's always working.
When Joe checked to that play, did you think I had a chance to work right away?
Yeah, as soon as he checked it, we seen the nickel get ready to blitz, and I kind of just started smiling a little bit.
Did you think about throwing up a peace sign this time?
Nah, cause I ain't trying to get that fine. I don't want that.
So you heard Jalen just say you're not a secret anymore. What's your reaction to that?
I guess, you know, the cat's out of the bag. I guess, you know, still, you know, stuck in my days.
Last week, with Darius Slay kind of said, we asked him who has been the most impressive receiver in camp, and he said you as well. So you couple that with what Jalen said. How much does that bolster your confidence to have a cornerback like that say that to have on-field leaders?
It means a lot, man. You know, Slay's in year 8, year 9. You know, he's a big-time vet, big-time corner, and one of the best in the league. And just getting that from him, you know, it kind of boosts my confidence.
How pleased are you with your progress that you've made from last year to this year? You're a late-round pick, and you don't know what to maybe expect from you, at least from the outside, but for you to make this progress, how pleased are you?
This whole offseason, I just made everything personal. Everything that people said I couldn't do, and you know, I was only fast. I just made everything personal and put the work in.
How well has Jalen developed chemistry between you all in all of the seasons? How well did that translate into those plays that he was on the field today?
Just with him being the guy he is, the leader he is, and always trying to be a perfectionist, it kind of just build our relationship, build everybody's relationship, and just keep us moving forward.
Can you take us through that what would have been a 98-yarder if you guys connected? And what's the conversation like between you and Jalen after that?
With him, you know, we'll like to always miss, you know, long instead of short. And with it, I feel like I could have been a little faster, you know. But, you know, I just got a little late tug and I kind of threw off the timing a little bit.
So what do you expect your role to be this season?
Just give this team, you know, the best opportunities to win games and just contribute and do my job.
You see yourself as a starter for this team?
I'm just here to do my job, play ball.
Wes, the wide receiver screens to you and another one to Jalen. It seems like they're going to be a big part of this offense this year.
They just try to get the ball in our hands, be playmakers.
What do you like about this line screen, though? Just from taking a screen from there?
Honestly, that was really probably my first one from the slot, and it's quicker, but at the same time, I can just get up and down and make plays.
You said you wanted to kind of prove that you weren't just a speed guy. Having speed isn't like a bad thing.
No, it's not.
What did you want to prove aside from that?
Just being more physical, being a route runner, and just attacking the football, being aggressive, being a playmaker, a better playmaker.
You mentioned during the previous practice that one of the things you got looked to get better at during the offseason was route running, but more specifically like running some speeds.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you did on that long route where you got behind defense?
Yeah, most definitely. I've just been working on just transition of full speed and make everything look full speed.
Hey, Quez, in the moment, in that screen, I think it was Richard Rodgers who came out, got the good kick block, and Fred chose that field block. Do you feel that on the field, or was it where you just see open space?
I took a like 1 second pause so they could get the blocks, and once they got the blocks, it opened clean up. So everything really was them. I just used my speed. They did the hard work.
In talking to us, Nick Sirianni mentioned you developing in the intermediate passing game. What steps do you need to take there?
Just being, with the short routes, just still being able to use my speed, still able to, thread the defender and make everything look like, it's a deep ball.
But did you notice any change in the Steelers' defense from what they were doing after that touchdown?
Honestly, I just seen, they wasn't blitzing as much.
Let's take a few more for Quez.
Quez, it's a young skill group, but particularly at wide receivers, people don't really know what to expect. What do you expect?
I expect for us to come out each and every day, each and every Sunday, and compete. Yeah, we're young, but we're dogs. We're gonna compete every game, every day.
What's your level of comfort as a kickoff returner?
That was my first one this season, and as I get back there more and more, it's gonna boost up.
Okay, thanks, Quez. Milton Williams up next.
Yeah, coming into the game, JG let us know that he was going to keep our calls simple. Some stuff that we've been going over since day one. And once we knew what calls was coming in, everybody knew their job and knew exactly what to expect when we lined up. So the communication was really easy tonight.
Was he pretty pleased with that? Were you surprised that it went as well as it did?
I think, I wasn't surprised because, like I said, we've been working on those calls since day one. So I think he was pretty pleased. We just got to look at the film and see how we can get better.
No, this was your first game as a professional. I know it's a preseason game, but anything eye-opening for you out there? Anything that kind of caught you off guard or you're surprised about?
Nah, not really. I know this morning when I woke up, I was kind of nervous, just finally getting that moment. Playing in the first NFL game, but once I played the first snap, I kind of got settled in a little bit, got a little bit more comfortable, and then tried to do what I know. I've been playing football my whole life, so dream come true tonight.
Looked like you were in on that T.Y. McGill sack. Can you walk us through that play? What happened? What worked for you?
Man, I was working the tackle. He was kind of setting me a little light, so I was working the bull rush on him, and I felt that he was leaning out, so I just snatched him real quick. And I was finna get him, but the guard came and got me, and it freed up T.Y. So I'm happy for him. Celebrate with him afterward.
What's your comfort level both inside and outside right now?
I'm pretty comfortable playing both. They trust me to be able to know both spots, and I'm doing my best to get as much confidence as I can and let them know that whenever they need to move me around, they can do that.
Are you surprised by how much you're playing on the outside, or did you expect that going into the game?
Nah, I kind of expected it. You know, they kind of want to move me around, see where I'm more productive at, and see what my skills are and what I'm best at. So playing inside and outside, just keep going back and forth and keep getting better at both.
Is Tracy Robert giving you a player to study, kind of in the way you kind of move around on the line?
No, not really. He just want me to be aggressive, assert myself in the game, use my speed, use my power, and just be physical. That's his message always. Be physical, strike, and the rest will handle itself.
Does playing one position help with the other?
Nah, they kind of different. I think playing inside is a little easier because it's not too much space. So it's like 1, 2, you gotta have something ready. On the edge, it's a little bit more space, so you gotta close the space and then work your move. But like I said, I've been playing defensive end for a long time. My last year in college, that's when I actually moved inside for the first time. So I played that whole year, and I got confident with that. So I'm still kind of going off of that.
As you got more and more comfortable as the game went on, do you feel like you were able to use your strengths more and just kind of, let your instincts take over and play the way you're capable of?
Definitely. I still feel like I played okay. You know, it's not up to how I want to look every down, but like Coach Sirianni say, just try to get 1% better every day. So we're gonna go watch the tape and see what I can do better next game.
It was a hot night. Played a lot of snaps in the second quarter. How was the conditioning? How did you and other guys hold up with that challenge?
Oh man, I think from practice we practice really hard. So I think we were in pretty good shape. You know, some of those drives they get real long, but you got to just stick in there and try to get that stop. So I think we were in pretty good shape, but the more practice we get, the more we play in the game, the better shape we'll get in.
Do you think that you said that the plan was to be kind of simple in the middle of the night? Do you think that'll change as the preseason goes on from a line standpoint?
It depends on what JG want to do. You know, in the preseason, he probably don't want to show everything that we've been working on for teams to watch on film. So he might keep it vanilla, he might not. That ain't my call, but we're gonna see.
You said that it wasn't exactly how you wanted it, snap to snap. What are some of the things that you're picking up on that you want to get better at?
Just technique things. Keep my pad level down, keep my eyes clean, make sure I'm looking at the right things, playing my key, playing my technique, and things like that. So, like I said, you can watch film, you can always get better at those things.
Guys, we got Eric Wilson.
All right, we had quarterback Jalen Hurts, Quez Watkins, and then Milton Williams. Guys, lot to unpack there, but what are some of our thoughts off the bat?
I tell you, Jalen is always impressive when you see him in front of the microphone. He has sort of a presidential way about him, right? He never seems to be flustered, doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, throws a nice little, he shows that he has a sense of humor every once in a while when he's answering the question, but he still carries himself like a leader of men. So very impressed with him. And then Quez Watkins, I think we're all still getting to know him a little bit, as his rookie year was last year, and with the situation not being around him, that was the first time I remember getting a chance to look at him. So I was just impressed with his size. He seems to be locked in and focused. Didn't want to get too high with what he did tonight. Realized there's a lot of work still left, and then getting a chance to see Milton Williams, impressive rookie. He's a guy I'm excited about. You know, I'm excited about watching him. Tonight was the first time I got a chance to watch him really get after it too.
Milton's biceps have biceps.
Yes.
He's ready to roll. I'm excited to get into the film and watch how he did tonight. A guy that, as he talked about, still getting used to playing inside along the defensive line.
Well, between the three guys, my biggest takeaway was when Jalen Hurts said that Quez Watkins is no longer a secret.
That's unfortunate. It was the best way to wrap it up, too.
But it's true.
Exactly.
We didn't know what to expect, and so much buzz this year especially has been about Devontae Smith and even about Jalen Reagor and him hopefully making a jump from year one to year two, what that was going to look like. So, we've been seeing kind of little glimpses of Quez Watkins at camp, but to see it in live game action, he is no longer a secret.
Yeah, and I made the joke earlier about Coach Sirianni. We know he's a former wide receiver coach, and you see him out there every day in practice. He still gravitates towards those wide receivers. He likes to work with those guys. But in all seriousness, I did expect the young guys to sort of take a leap, right? To take a leap in their second year, and it's good to see that Quez Watkins, I know John Hightower is banged up a little bit, and even Rager has shown some flashes that we didn't see last year. But Watkins has obviously made the biggest leap from the first year to the second year. It's still early. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself in praising the young man because the regular season is where it really counts. Yep. But it was good to see when you read about guys and how well they're doing and practice on a daily basis, it makes you more excited to see them in the game. So I think for a lot of us as fans, this was our first time getting to see Quez Watkins. He's truly been the star of training camp, and boy, he didn't disappoint tonight.
It's just another box to check. You had the hype in the spring and the summer. Hey, what's he going to look like in year 2? Then he comes to training camp, check the box. He looked great. Preseason, check the box. Keep trying to stack them, and for the end of the year, he's put together a nice sophomore campaign.
I think Jalen Hurts plays a huge role in the development of this wide receiver group because they trust him, and you can tell when they talk about him. And he's a very team-first guy. When Jalen is asked very specific questions, he answers it from the perspective of the team. It's not about individuals. We're going to head back over to the stadium. Eric Wilson's at the podium.
Only one series.
Yeah.
Starting defense. Did you guys know that it was only just going to be one series, or is it because you guys had your staff? What went into the thought process?
Yeah, for everybody, I think it might have been different. But nonetheless, I think, it was great. Our one series, they didn't score any points. So that was great.
Were you surprised? Typically, a lot of teams don't show much in the preseason. TJG didn't even show anything close to what you've shown in camp. Is that what you were expecting? And then what do you think how do you think the Steelers went against that?
Yeah, I think it's, the calls that we ran, it was some simple calls, and I think it's great for us to be able to go out there and execute those at a really high level and, play really fast and be able to execute from the 1s, 2s, 3s, whoever's out there, they should be able to play fast.
So as one of the leaders on this defense, what message do you have to the guys at the bottom of the depth chart who are out there in the second half?
Trust that you know what you're doing because they do. We've been training really well, making sure we know our responsibilities and the techniques in which we play with and just play with that high energy, that high intensity, and hustle to the ball and get to the ball. And I think they did a great job.
First time seeing Nick Sirianni in a game setting. What were your impressions?
I think he's a great coach. I think his personality of who he is great, and he leads the right way. And I appreciate the energy he brings each and every day.
What's his personality like on Tuesdays?
It's not. He's very straightforward. He lets us know exactly what we need to do in a manner. He's not like a super rah-rah guy, but he does have that juice and that energy, which I appreciate. The balance, right? You have to be even keel. You can't, be too high on it, and so you have to be able for us to understand what he's saying and able to make corrections, and I think that's where he does a really good job.
Eric, I don't know how much you pay attention to the guys in front of you, but Milton Williams played a lot today at left defensive end. Do you have any thoughts on what you've seen from him in camp and tonight?
Yeah, I think Milt can be a really great player. I remember today specifically, I seen him where he got off the ball, he punched the lineman right in the backfield, and he made some havoc back there. And I think with him doing that consistently, I think he will be great.
How about your impression of Alex Singleton getting out there to play as much as he did, just having combat? Alex Singleton.
Yeah.
Able to get there. What did you think about how he was able to play tonight?
I think he did great. He was flying around to the ball, making a lot of plays, and I thought that was great. He plays with a lot of energy, and he flies around, and I appreciate that because, I love to do the same.
How comfortable are you in giving feedback to younger players on the sideline while the game's going on, just kind of going through plays, maybe what you see on your pads or printouts?
Yeah, I think it's great to be, kind of coach them up. If I see something out there on the field that they're doing, I even did that today. I let them know, like, hey, I think you would benefit from maybe doing this or maybe honing in on the technique. If you're out there for, a couple of series back-to-back, some guys may get tired. But even though you may be a little bit tired, you can't let your technique, fault because you're a little bit tired. Your technique should remain, immaculate and excellent and always with that hustle. So I definitely gave them some pointers.
That's good. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that was Eric Wilson. That's a wrap on hearing from the players after preseason game number 1. Let's unpack quickly what Eric Wilson had to say and maybe your thoughts about what the linebackers as a whole looked like tonight.
I thought he and Alex were flying around to the football. And I think we can finally be excited about having some linebackers that I think will be playmakers. And there's been this perception out there about how linebackers can somehow be undervalued in the NFL today. Well, Jonathan Gannon was up there in Minnesota, and the linebackers that they had up there, Anthony Barr, Eric Wilson, Kendricks, all pretty good. All pretty good. So I'm excited about what our linebackers are going to be able to do in this defense.
And I agree with you that it seemed like those guys were constantly around the football. So they had
always.
lots of rallying to the football, pass game, run game, really good sign.
Really good to see Alex Singleton kind of picking up where he left off after last season as well. Well, if you are still with us, we left off at Ike's first takeaway of the game. We didn't quite get to 2 and 3, so let's quickly go through that before we move on.
Well, the good thing is we've touched on the two things briefly. My second takeaway would be how efficiently the offense looked. The first team offense looked with those first couple of series, and even throw in when Joe Flacco was out there. Still, you got to kind of combine the young wide receivers with the first team and the second team. So I was real impressed with how they looked. And then Quez Watkins was the star of the night, 1 catch, but 79 yards, and just the display of speed that we saw from him. I think Eagles fans, by the judge of social media, they're pretty excited about Quez Watkins.
No special teams takes. What's going on?
Oh,
here?
no, you know what? Thank you for reminding me of that.
Ike, you only get 3.
You know what,
Choose
though?
wisely.
It's been a while since we've had some explosive players back there in the return game. I like what I saw tonight.
There you go.
Even Jalen Hurts, I think, has the potential of being a good punt returner himself.
Yeah.
I say Jalen Hurts, I mean
Rager.
Jalen Rager. That's what I
no
meant.
question.
Yes.
All right. Well, those are Ike's 3 takeaways from tonight's game. We're going to head over to Fran. He worked on a little Ricoh review for us, breaking down a big play of the game.
Well, there are a lot of options for us to break down here in the Ricoh review. A ton of big plays from the offense. Obviously, there was that 79-yard catch and run from second-year wide receiver Quez Watkins. But for me, my focus was going to be on quarterback Jalen Hurts. We saw that 4-game sample a year ago in 2020 with him as a rookie. His ability to create outside of the pocket, right? Break outside, make plays down the football field in the deep part of the field. We saw Jalen Hurts be a very efficient thrower of the football, downfield attacking defenses, putting stress on opponents. He's got that ability. What you want to see from him in year 2 is that ability to take the next step as a passer. And if you were to split the field up into thirds, all right, we already see the deep part of the field. You get the intermediate area and the shallow area. What separates the good quarterbacks from the great quarterbacks is that ability to work this part of the field. Because when you talk about dealing with the intermediate area, you are trying to throw over the linebackers and underneath those safeties that are deep down the football field. So if you've got that ability to throw with touch up and over the backers and with enough zip and velocity to beat the safety, now you're cooking with gas as a quarterback. And this play here on the second drive, we see a really good example of that from Jalen Hurts. What you're going to get is a deep post route from wide receiver Jalen Rager. He's going to work upfield and get to the post. He's the vertical stretch. He is going to work to try and stretch the defense and get downfield. You're also going to get running back Jordan Howard going to the flat. He is the third option, the shallow option here for quarterback Jalen Hurts. But where this play is designed to go is the tight end, Dallas Goedert. He's running a nice simple corner route, a sail route from the tight end position. That's where this ball is designed to go, and it's right in that intermediate area of the field, right? So we're going to see Jalen Hurts take the snap. We can let the film roll. You're going to see him drop back in his drop, survey the field, and he's going to wait for the tight end to break open. He's got to throw this with anticipation, and you can see Here's Dallas Goedert. He's about to stick his foot in the ground and break to the corner. Jalen Hurts sees it. He's about to deliver. What you need here is good ball placement. This cannot be behind. It can't be short. If it's over top, you've got a safety coming up over the top of this. He puts this right on the money. And since Dallas Goedert doesn't have to break stride, what do you get? You get yards after catch. So a big play, a catch and run there from the tight end position, a throw to the intermediate part of the field. This is exactly what you're looking for if you're an Eagles fan from Jalen Hurts. These are the kinds of throws you want to see a quarterback make in his second year. And what I also love here as well, the route from Dallas Goedert. We can let this roll, and you can see that he's going to press this vertically, does a nice job fighting through contact, and then watch what he does there to just sell the vertical stem of the route. You see that quickness at the top. He separates there from a good linebacker in Devin Bush. The ball was right on the money. That's exactly where you want that if you're quarterback Jalen Hurts, if you're head coach Nick Sirianni, that entire offensive staff. That play is what you want. For an Eagles fan, you've got to be excited about what we saw from Jalen Hurts here in game number 1 of this preseason. Excited to see more here this next couple weeks.
And that's our Ricoh review for tonight, Fran. Thank you so much. We can't wait to see what else you break down this week following tonight's matchup. Guys, final thoughts before we go.
I feel pretty good about what I saw. First game, I think got a lot of positives that you can build on. I can't wait to see how they grow from one week to the next. Next week, good opponent in the New England Patriots, so I'm excited about this.
And that's the thing, is that we get a little bit of a taste of the urgency jumping up a little bit with the Patriots coming to town, not just for a game next Thursday, but for those joint practices, which we'll be breaking down all week here right here on PhiladelphiaEagles.com.
Joint practices are certainly very telling, right? Because again, it's that game action feeling. We're going to see a lot more tackling that we haven't seen in the past few weeks. But we will be back here next Thursday night, 6:45 for the kickoff show presented by Exalta. Me and Fran Duffy will be on the desk. Ike, are you going to hit us up?
We'll be back. I will be here, yes.
All right, and Ike will be back joining us for the postgame show presented by Ricoh. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great night.